Buonasera.
Hello.
How are you?
Buonasera. Hey, how are you?
Ah, I'm doing well. It's a pleasure to meet you, Eduardo. So welcome. We're looking forward to having you visit Portland, and I guess you're going up to Washington and to Alaska. So there's a whole lot of activities for you as soon as you get here. Hope that you will have time to get enough sleep so that you're functioning, because the time zone difference will be a challenge.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the organization of these all these beautiful concerts, all these beautiful events, and I have to say honestly that I'm very looking forward to come there. It will be my second time in the US, but the very first time on the West Coast. So I'm very, very happy to come, and I'm very curious to discover this part of US. And I'm also very happy to play, to share my music with the audience of this part of the United States. The first time I went to US was in Georgia, so in the on the East Coast, and I played the concert at the University of Georgia in 2015.
I've never been to Georgia myself, so how did you find the city?
My concert was part of an exchange between the conservatory where I was studying in 2015, where I was finishing my study, and well, I went to Atlanta and I went to Athens, and I really I really had a good time. In fact, I have to say that one of my dream in is to take to be part of a doctorate program in the US, because in Italy we don't have a doctorate program for music teachers, and this I think this is one of the more important part of my future plans.
You've done scholarly work on a number of important works, one by Tonsman and the other one by Tedesco, and you're going to be performing uh, the Tedesco in the concert that's upcoming in just a few days. So maybe tell us a little bit about your fondness of Tedesco's music and what how you discovered this music and what you discovered was missing, and and how you were able to uh, pursue that and come up with your own fingering and interpretation of Tedesco's work.
Yeah, as you can imagine, for a guitar player, is Castelnuovo Tedesco is a must, because he composed a lot of masterpieces, a great concerto, and it was a composer that who worked step by step with guitar players, and this is the best part for me. A composer have to work, and in fact, we have a lot of masterpieces he wrote with the supervision of Andrea Segovia, and another part of masterpieces, another part of works like notes, like Appunti. I'm gonna play there. Um, he wrote with the supervision of Ruggero Chiesa. Ruggero Chiesa was a very important maestro, Italian maestro, a very important Italian revisor, and a very important guitar player, because he worked with a lot of composers like Castelnuovo Tedesco in the last part of Castelnuovo Tedesco's life, when Castelnuovo Tedesco was living in US, in Beverly Hills, in the last part of his life. But in the first part of his life, Castelnuovo Tedesco is from was from Florence, which is the central part of my country, because I'm from Viareggio, which is a city nearby the sea, very close to the sea. And Viareggio is something like 60 kilometers from Florence, so 1 hour by car. So for me is a true honor to play Casanova Tedesco's music in my concert, and my aim is to bring part of my hometown, my land, to my audience, to other states. I used to start my concert with Casanova Tedesco's music, and more specifically, I love to play these three notes by Casanova Tedesco at the beginning of my concert, because they have bucolic theme. They are about the life in the farm, in the farm, the life in the Tuscanian landscape, the life of the farmer in this part of the country, in this part of Italy. And there are a sort of popular melodies that Casanova Tedesco took and wrote for guitar. And I used to play, as you correctly told, I used to play these compositions, these notes, with my fingerings, because Appunti are in 4 books, are edited in 4 books, and only the first book, you can play only the first book as you can read it, but the second, the third, and the fourth are very unusual to play, because Casanova Tedesco used to compose on the piano. And the problem was that Casanova Tedesco died when he was writing with Ruggero Chiesa to editing these compositions. And so you need to edit yourself this composition before to play. And in fact, I'm finishing in these months the complete recordings of notes by Casanova Tedesco, which is a double CDs, because it's something like 2 hours music.
Wow.
And I'm recording this composition with my fingering, with my editing. It's not only fingering, because you also have to remove some notes, to add other notes, to change some chords. Is very difficult, very very hard play, because is a double work. The first one is an editing work, and the second one is the practice work. But yeah, I used to play, as I told you before, these three notes in every concert. And last summer, I also played Casanova Tedesco in Peru, and they told me they really loved Casanova Tedesco's music. So for me, this is really a true honor.
That's wonderful. We're looking forward to hearing these pieces, which don't get played as often as they should. And maybe as a result of your recordings, we'll see more people paying attention to some of the works that Tedesco wrote that have not been performed, because the challenges of playing music that was conceived on keyboard doesn't immediately transfer to guitar, and the decision making in that process is painful, because you want to play it exactly as he heard it, and
exactly
at the same time is you want to be able to interpret it on the guitar in a manner that is not going to be impossible to play. So it is a process that that I think most every composer has to deal with. And sometimes that communication, we had talked just before we started the interview today of how Segovia and Ponce had this very close relationship. So it was easy for the two of them to correspond and Segovia to make suggestions, and then Ponce to decide what he was going to do with that. We have a lot of people looking over the shoulder of Segovia and second guessing some of the things he did, which I suppose has its own merit. But at the same time, the process oftentimes is this collaboration that takes place between artists and the composer. And when that's missing, the artist has the burden of trying to anticipate. And I think we have a tendency to be as, if our heart is to preserve the integrity of the original, we strive as much as we can to change as little as we can and find creative solutions, which on a guitar sometimes is an amazing it's an amazing instrument, because sometimes you look at something and say that's just not playable, and then wait a second, I can find it on this string and on that fret, and that's actually it. I have some challenges, but I could do it. Although there are sometimes, I understand in some of Tedesco's works where his ear said the notes down here and the high notes up here, you would need another hand to be able to reach both of those.
Yeah.
But at least you know the intent, and we see that sometimes in transcriptions of Bach as well, where people know that if Bach had a situation, he might have added this note, so they add it. Because on a guitar you could hit it, maybe on a violin you can't. And then there are those who say, well, no, don't change anything. And so viva la difference. That I think it's good that we have that. But in advance of hearing your performance, thank you so much for the work that you've done. I know it was a work of passion and a great love for the music, but everything that we do that contributes to the future, teaching our young students, and the scholarly work that you do, that you don't hear anything, you're just really with pencil and paper in hand and trying to find solutions. And then when you finally come to the end and be able to record that, that's going to be wonderful. You will be performing in the Portland area at several different places, one at St. Agatha's Church in Selwood, and at Mary's Woods, and at our home in West Lynn. Then you have performances in Corvallis at Oregon State and Western Washington University, and the Guitar Society in Anchorage, Alaska. So you're embarking on quite a long range, and I think it's going to be wonderful. And it's just a few days, so I pray you get some rest, and that your flight is smooth and not too difficult, not too bumpy, that you can see quite a bit. Because right now, I said Buenos Aires in the beginning because it's about 1 o'clock over here now, and it's about 10 o'clock, I think, where you're at. So it's time for bed for you, and I still got a few errands to run. Eduardo, thank you so much for the opportunity to talk with you and to give us a little bit about your background. And we really look forward to your coming on Wednesday and your stay with us. Safe journey.
Thank you very much. You are totally welcome, and it was a really pleasure to talk with you, and it was a really pleasure to know you before we are going to know personally, to know you only in this virtual way. And I hope to. I'm really looking forward. So have a great day, and see you very soon.
Very soon.